It's finally here. Let's check it out together. Hello everybody, it is Stacy personally speaking and it is December 22nd, 2023 and I'm about to do a bit of an unboxing of the new stove that I got last night. Why don't you join me? So here is the new stove. It is a 6 burner 30-inch Indurama brand stove. I have never used this brand before, never heard about it until I came back to Jamaica this year. Interestingly enough, my neighbor has the same brand but a 4 burner, and she raves about this stove. This is the stove that the technician recommended to me, actually one of the stoves that he recommended to me, and it came last night and I'm going to just be opening it up to see what it has in store. I obviously cannot use it yet because it still has a plastic on it and it has no burners. So let's get right into it. It has a glass top. I guess that will now protect my wall from the splashes, which I had put the wallpaper right there to do. As you can see here, we have 6 burners. The burners are not on as yet, but right away you can see the different sizes that are going to be in play. This one is really huge, so I suppose that will release a lot more gas. These are smaller somewhat, but the circles themselves, 1, 2, 3, 4 circles are much bigger than these 2 circles in the middle for whatever reason. Here we have the grill, quite heavy as well. As I had mentioned, the technician had said that this stove is used by persons who do more commercial business, and it is quite industrious feeling indeed. Right here you can see already there's more support for the bottom of the pan compared to the stove that I looked at yesterday. Okay, let me get down here. So this one does have an electric ignition. I suppose this is going to be for a light to see inside the oven, which is a plus. I always wanted one of those, even though I don't really fancy having to turn or having to plug in into an electrical outlet, which I guess should be an option in any event. This is going to be to ignite the pilots, I suppose, which are these little white things here. I've never owned a pilot lit stove before, and I guess this is where the expertise of the technician would come into play. Yes, I'll leave it right there. Let me jump down to the oven, which I did look at it before, and I never did fancy the blue inside color, even from the very first time I had seen this stove before settling on the Frigidaire that I did. Mind you, it was also a little bit more expensive than the Frigidaire. However, of course, there's the plus of this kind of baking tray grill thing. I'm not sure exactly. I haven't looked at the manual yet. But long and short is that it has 2. It has 2 of these things for baking, so I can use 2 shells at the same time. I will be taking those out momentarily. Still looking for the manual, haven't seen it just yet. Must be bundled up in all that plastic. And this stove has apparently hella bottom and hella top, because here is another area that's going to be ignited. So a flame will be up top and a flame will be coming from down the bottom. I'm going to unwrap these and set up the stove, and then I'll come right back. So I just started cutting through the plastic and realized that they also used tape to secure the items, but that has resulted in a sticky residue being left on the grill or oven grate. So you might expect, or I should probably expect, some kind of burning or funny smell while I'm using the oven. Hopefully not too serious though. All right, so here finally have released the bag of, what do you call these again? I don't remember. But maybe this should not be taken out now, since I need to take off this blue plastic off it first. All right, let me set this aside. Well, I'm actually going to grab the manual and just kind of browse through quickly. Now I'm about to remove the grills so I can get to this blue plastic underneath here. Easily removed with one hand, but still quite heavy or does have a bit of a weight to it. Now I noticed something about the underside of this. If you look, you can see the little round protrusions at the corners, which I think will be very helpful, because whenever there are spills, the grate itself tends to get wet at times, but this will help to prevent that from happening too much. Very small detail, but very important. So the instructions are to remove the plastic from front to back. I will be doing that with both hands momentarily. But yeah, and so you'll be able to see what underneath it looks like. I am at the halfway mark, and this looks like a new brand shiny stove in comparison to the Frigidaire stove that I had before. I can actually feel, I don't know, the feeling is just so much different. It's shinier. Maybe I think the Frigidaire might have been in storage for a longer period. I'm not seeing any of those discoloration marks that I saw previously on the Frigidaire stove. It is taking me some time to get this off, because I remember from doing the last one how it was ripping, and I don't want that. So I'm taking my time and peeling this back slowly. It's looking really good. It looks really good. And it is finally all off. Now you can see a spanking, shiny, absolutely new looking surface. And I can only surmise that the Indurama came to Jamaica after the Frigidaire stove, because this does not look like it has been sitting too long in storage. Absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be setting up the burners at this time. So here I have all the burners and their covers. This one says ultra rapid, so right away I know that it must belong over here. And I think what I thought were pilot knobs. I don't know what they are, but those slip over that. And this huge one, you can already see some kind of rusting or whatever mark there, goes right there. This is the only one that's different. It is completely flat and smooth. Everything else has a kind of double circle or a central circle. What's this? Who would have thought that I would be doing this kind of setup again so soon? All right, now let me just put the grates back on. And guess what? The grates cannot be interchanged. They cannot be interchanged. Here you can see the curved edge right here, which means that it belongs to the left end of the stove. You can see here is more squared, so it definitely cannot go over to this side. So there I have put them back in place. Just a little bit of space in between them. Yeah, and that's it. Wow, looking good. I cannot remember the first stove taking this long. And I guess it's because I was not trying to video everything as I was setting it up. Because I still have plastic and lots of plastic to take off this stove from the front as well as from both sides. Yes, this has plastic on it too. So let me get to it. This is what the griddle looks like when placed on top of the grates. Yes, I'm learning the names of all of these things now. Strangely enough, I cannot remember taking off plastic from the sides of the other stove. But I am halfway there on one side. I have not looked at the other side yet. And finally onto the next side, which seems to be the last of the plastic. Yay! I have finally removed all the plastic, I think. It was quite a feat, but I am done as much as I possibly can. I'll include right now a view of the back, which I had not done before. Take note of the electrical cord, and remember that this does have an electrical component, which is by way of the oven light and the ignition for lighting the stove. I'm not sure if it can be operated without that function. I'm sure I'm going to find out though. So there you have it, another stove review. Well, not a review. This one was an unboxing because I have no idea about how to use it yet and whether or not I'll be able to bake today. But thanks for checking this video out.
Like, share, and subscribe. Put a comment below this. Check out the description.